Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the podcast.
My name is Lola.
Lola.
I'm the person behind the Finland page. I usually don't give interviews, but lately I have been asked to talk about the page and the history behind and maybe this is because it has been already 11 years since I started the Finland page. So I have been thinking that why not? If I can share some of my experiences in Finland or what I have learned in this time here, maybe is a bit valuable for people. So that's why I have been now giving interviews, but I don't do it for the fame or anything like that. So just to be clear.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Yes.
Lola, I understand it's an acronym.
Yes, of course, that's not my name, but I have used Lola because he's laughing out loud alone.
Hello.
And it's pretty much like me, like I have been alone most of the time here in Finland. So I'm always laughing. If I see something funny, then you can see me laughing in the train or in the metro alone. So that's why I have been using this LOLA nickname,
Nickname.
basically. Yeah.
And you said you started this Funland Facebook page a while ago, like 15 years?
No, 11.
11.
11, almost 11 years. I started the page in, I think it was end of October 2013. And basically, the reason why I created the page back then was because I have mentioned this previously in other interviews that I have given to about the page that, well, I was sharing, like just funny things on my own Facebook, and I didn't get any likes, and I wasn't even sure if people were, like interested in seeing those things. So I decided to create a new page, and of course I call it Finland because, well, I was living in Finland, and it wanted to be like a funny space. So the intention was never to be about Finland or anything like that. But of course, because I was living in Finland at the time, a lot of the comments and a lot of the funny jokes and the things were about Finland because, well, I was living here. And recently, back then, I got my Finnish citizenship. So I thought that, well, it's not bad if I make
If
a
I'm a
joke
local.
about it because I'm one of them now. So then I have, the obligations, but also the responsibilities. And this is part of, like being a citizen, I can make fun of my own culture.
Country,
So that was kind of like the reason why I never felt that I couldn't share anything. So it was more like the idea was like, if it makes me laugh, then it goes to them
To the page.
to the page. So of course, like if I see something funny in Finland, then like I was taking a picture and sharing it. So it started like that. At the beginning, we were only like 600 people. I also opened it as a community, so it was more like like whoever wants to join is free to join. It was not a page to sell anything or to. It was more like like to
A
make it
space, yeah.
a community. So we were like maybe 50 people the first couple of months. Then it managed to get 100, and I was so happy, with 100 followers, sharing one picture every day, just saying, good morning, how are you, and that was it. So it was not. I wasn't doing it, like for the fame or for the followers or for the likes. It was just like, like to have some friends beside my own friends in here, because of course when you live alone, then you're kind of like, sometimes you could feel like lonely. So then
Yeah.
it was kind of like, okay, let's create this space for making online friends. So that was kind of like a bit of the logic behind. But then one day I think I shared something about Finnish spring, and then that picture went like really crazy, and then it brought a lot of people. So from one day we passed from 100 followers to 3,200 or something like that. And it was just crazy because then they started looking at the previous post from those 6 months, and then they start resharing, and then suddenly like it was 5,000, and then it was 6,000, and then it was 18,000, and it just went like
You just kept rolling.
yeah, it just kept rolling. I don't think there were many pages back then making fun about Finland. So people, this was something new, and Finnish people, they are really proud of their country,
their
so
country,
they
culture.
want to show the world, this what they can do, and if it is, like if Finland is mentioned in the news, then we go to the Torille, like we got to kind of like celebrate.
Celebrate it.
Exactly. So it was like that. I think that back then Finns were just happy that Finland is mentioned. Finland has been mentioned in the Facebook, so let's just celebrate and go to the market square to celebrate. So I think that's why it kind of like started becoming like popular. Then of course I tried to kind of like do a couple of like I tried to like with Finland, maybe this could be a way to integrate foreigners and Finns. And then I started like trying like to create events. So I was doing like a couple of events, but of course the response was always like, I don't know, 10 people or 15 people.
Yeah, because not everyone lives nearby enough to attend.
Exactly, like they don't live close, or they are from other countries, or they live in Turku or Tampere or in some other places. So that was kind of like sometimes it was tough, but of course, I mean, the last event was like we were like 3 people only back in, I think it was 2015 or 16 when I made the last event. And because there was no that much response, then I just stopped until now, that we had an event like a couple of weeks ago in Suomenlinna, and we were 5 people. So it was like, yay. So it was like the response was similar as I was expecting. It was only 5 people. But it's okay. I actually prefer these small gatherings, because then I don't know, it just feels like awkward for me, like
If
like
they were big, if there were
if
like
there were more
1,000
people. Yeah, exactly, because it's like, why, that's my question, like why are you coming here, like do you
We're
want
only a community online. You don't have to gather in
No.
person.
No, it's
That's
not. It's not that. It's just more kind of like what is the aim? Like, are you looking for friends, or are you looking, like to meet
Like-minded people.
like-minded people? Like, but it's also like, like why? Like, why would you come here? Like,
I'm gonna make an
like,
event. Why would you come though?
yeah,
Like
exactly.
there is a little bit of your humor in it. Like you
Yeah,
can
exactly.
definitely
Like,
tell.
why? Like, don't come here. Like go.
I'm gonna invite everyone, but you
No.
don't have to come if you're.
Yeah,
You
but-
actually don't expect you to come.
Yeah, but the thing I think that is because of this, like being awkward myself, that in these kind of events I feel the pressure that I have to talk, or that I have to, like talk about me, or then I feel like I'm in the spotlight, because then it's usually like who's behind the page, and then they are like, oh, she's behind the page, and then they
And then you get- you
and
get
then they
looked
want
at.
to know, and then like I don't know, it makes me a bit uncomfortable. But of course, because it has been not many people, then it has been easier for me to like interact and discuss, and then they can become your friends. So I have friends from these gatherings that they have been in my life since these gatherings like 10 years ago. So I think that it wasn't that bad, in that sense, that they were coming to them to the gatherings.
It's worth mentioning that this was 11 years ago, and of course, social media was not what it is now.
Exactly. Yeah, it was really different. It's really difficult to keep up with the changes in social media. I have been asked a lot, like, why you're not on TikTok, why you're not in Instagram, because it's hard for me, like to keep up. Like I with Finland, I learned, to do memes. I'm not a social media expert in any way, so this is just a hobby. It has been always a hobby. So I have had, to learn how to do memes, how to do videos, how to do, like these kind of things for posting. But because I don't have a team of people behind me, then sometimes, like I don't have
Takes
the
burdensome.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes
would know.
time to edit something. I have no clue how to edit things. So it just, like make it difficult. So I think I have been kind of like lazy in the sense of learning like how to do new tricks. So I have kept, the old style. It's a bit easier for me to keep the hobby if it is like old style. But yes, it was completely different back then. There were no influencers like there are
Yeah, no.
now.
The attention on Finland, like the
Yes,
attention only started what, like 7 years ago, that it was the happiest
yes,
country.
exactly. I think that the attention on Finland. No, I think the attention started when it was the country with the best education,
How long
and
ago
that
was
was
that?
probably like, I don't know, like 10 years or something, like, because there was already, like Finland started to be on the map. Of course, I mean, before that it was because Nokia, like the cell phones, and then started to be on the map. But I think even without the cell phones, I don't think a lot of people knew that
About
Nokia was from
Finland.
Finland.
Yeah.
Like, I think that, like when we were like younger in Mexico and we had a Nokia phone, this Blokia
Block,
phone
yeah.
that we used to have when we were like, what, 16,
The
17.
indestructible.
um like, you just heard about Nokia, but you didn't know like it was from Finland. At least myself, I think I thought it was something like from somewhere like Nintendo, kind of like maybe Asia or some kind
But
of
then
like.
how did you? Yeah, it could sound very Japanese.
Exactly.
Like
So I was
Nokia, honey, no.
so I was just thinking that, like, it's coming from. So I don't think, the exposure or like the understanding of Finland was too big, even with Nokia. But then with the education, then it was when it really started to be on the
On
map.
the map.
And then people start like questioning like why Finland do it better, like why education in Finland is.
That was what, like 10 at least?
Yeah, it was probably like since 2009, 2010 when they started like with this, like Finland is the best country for the education. And I remember because I was studying here, I did my
You came
master
because of
degree.
that? No.
No,
You just had
I
the
came,
opportunity
I
and you
had the
came to study.
opportunity. I came because it was free for foreigners.
Yes, the
I think
education.
they changed it. Now it's like,
Only to residents and citizens.
I think if you have the permanent resident, then now you can
Go to
study,
school for free,
but
yeah.
for free. But back then it was like you just need to get in, and then get accepted, and then you can study
yeah.
for.
I still know a couple of people
for
who
free.
came because of that.
Exactly. And I was studying, and I remember that, like they were talking about like the best education in the world, and I was so confused because, like my master degree wasn't the best. So I was like quite disappointed, I would say. And then I was just thinking that maybe it was because of the younger levels, like the elementary school,
Or primary.
the primary school, elementary school, the high school. Maybe those levels were better. I don't know because I didn't study in here. But I did study the master degree, and I was a bit disappointed because, like we learned it way better back in Mexico than in here. So I mean, the education or the level of education, at least in economics, I'm an economist myself, it was way better in the university that I study back there than in here. But of course, like how is Mexico? Mexico wants to, like, if you study abroad, then it's like, ooh, she
Like, oh,
study
she's far-
abroad.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
It
like,
must be better because it's
uh-huh,
from
exactly.
abroad.
Like, oh, it's probably better because, like she study abroad. So then that was kind of like the reason, like they are
There's
not
an
gonna
added
know,
value.
like they are not gonna know if it was better or not, but it's gonna have, like there's gonna be in the
resume.
paper.
Oh,
Exactly.
she went to Finland and
And then Finland has the best
Hire
education in the world, and then I should hire her. So it was kind of like the reason why I came here, because it was free. Then, like there was I didn't know much about like Finnish education back then. It was just, like I had the possibility to work, so I got a job interview. So I came for the job interview, and then I thought that if I get the job, then I can live in Europe,
Yeah,
and then I can apply to school. So that was kind of like the
original
reason
plan.
that I had a job interview, and I came here. After 2 weeks, I got my job interview. Then they helped me to apply for the visa. And then after a month, I was already like working, and then I was like I applied to school a month after that, and then I got in like July, and then I started studying in August or something like that. So
So
it
it
was
was all quickly.
yeah, it was really quickly.
Straightforward.
It was quite straightforward. I was just thinking that let's see what happens, and maybe I'll stay, and if not, then I'll study the master and then come back. So because I came here without having anything, so I was just thinking that let's see how
how I
it
evolve,
goes.
how I grow,
How it
how
goes,
I
yeah,
move.
exactly. And if not, then I can always be 3 months and then go back home, and that's it. So that was
Because to
the
summarize, you came 15 years ago. It was
yes,
not at all what the Helsinki that it is now.
definitely
Like
not.
the metro, the lines, the infrastructure. Even when I came 7 years ago, it was not what it is now. Like now it's nice to see and modern and stuff. But back then, I remember there were people telling me that Mexican food was not a thing. There
Yeah,
were some
no.
ingredients, vegetables, things that they've never seen, like
Yeah, it was difficult to find Mexican
dragon
food.
fruit or whatever.
It was difficult to find Mexican food. We were always struggling because you had to bring things from Mexico
Spain or something.
or from some other place. But of course, it was expensive to like bring something. So it was kind of like let's just put it in the luggage and then bring the maseca and bring all these things to make the tortillas. But then after a couple of years, then we had a possibility to find some products, and then more and more. And I think now it's like you can find pretty much everything in the
Yeah,
stores. So there are
from a lot of
salsas, there are
nationalities.
beans, there are like like pretty much everything from there. But I came when everything on Sunday was closed.
Yeah.
So that was also something that like it's not like that anymore. Like now you can
Now
go.
it closes at 6.
Yeah, now it closes at 6.
Now it's only dead after 6. It wasn't. It was dead all day.
Yeah, it was dead all day. Like it was definitely dead all day, and kind of like hurry up to buy things on Saturday because then there is nothing open on Sunday, and if there is something open, is in Campi. So then it's like kind of like where you have to
To go to
go.
downtown. Now you only
Exactly.
hurry for the alcohol.
Yeah, now
because
you exactly. So that, but yeah, it was completely different as it is now.
that was 15, and then 11 years ago you made the page. You started with the humor, and
Yes.
then how did it go? Like a couple years after.
Well, like the after, let's see if I remember correctly. So I opened the page in 2013. So it was 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So after 5 years of opening the page, I got depressed. So basically, like the depression found me in this country. I
Because it
always,
will.
yeah, because it will find you. No, I really hope it won't. But it is true. I mean, I didn't think about it. I thought that like it's gonna be like, I must say that I was not aware enough of people dealing with depression. Like coming from a sonic country like Mexico, you're always like having in your head that there is no room for depression because like you
You
are
have to
so
be busy.
busy,
You have to be
and you have
active.
to work, and you have
Be
to
productive.
like be productive, and there is no room to like be sad. So I think that if you go to, there is this post that is actually really funny in Spanish, that is like you go to your mom's house and you say like, "Mom, I'm depressed," and then your mom is like, "You can start cleaning the kitchen or do something," like kind of like, it's true. I mean, I think your mom would be the ones kind of like saying that, "Mijo, come on, you cannot be depressed. Like you can always find something to
You
do."
can find some, yeah,
Exactly. So, like I think in Mexico there is no room for
for depression.
for
There's no time.
depression. There is no time for depression. But in here there is, and like
Because of work-life balance and people have their own
no, I
families and
don't
stuff.
think so. I think that like I think in my case, of course, it was a work balance issue, but I think that like I must say that I didn't give the seriousness that it is. Like depression is something that definitely not to joke about. Something that like the struggle can be really real. Um,
And it
when
can
you
happen to
when
anyone.
you find that darkness within you, and you are not able to see anything else than the darkness, it's really difficult to get help because you even like you believe that you don't deserve any help, or it's like it's really like kind of like a circle, you know, like you get
It's
sad,
like a dark spiral.
then yeah, exactly, then you think that you don't deserve to be happy, that you don't need happiness in your life, that's not for you, and then you get more sad and more depressed, so then it's even worse, you know, like kind of like everything that like you're trying to get out of the circle, but you're always there. You're like the darkness comes like immediately within you, and you don't give the seriousness that it should have, because you think that that's, you know, that's a myth, or it doesn't exist, or there is no room for depression. But definitely in my case, it did hit me in here, and it was because, of course, I didn't have my family. I didn't have this social net of people, like even though they were online, like even though they were online, it was not the same, you know, like I needed hugs, and I didn't have enough hugs in my life. Plus I was working like 13-14 hours every day for many months
Here.
so in here, so that also, you know, kind of like affected my mental health, affected, you know, like my life, my balance, and there was no room for making jokes. So then Finland at that time in 2018, it became, or it started feeling more like, you know, like a job or a responsibility that I have to do. Like people is expecting you to come up with something funny.
Yeah.
Then there started to be more pages, you know, like competing for likes, and I didn't want to, you know, compete.
To
Like
fall
that
into
was
that
not
game.
that was not my aim. Like I never opened the page, you know, like to feel that I'm in some kind of competition, or that I have to prove that I'm better, or that I have to prove that I'm funnier. Like, so it just became like too much. So I had to close Finland for a couple of years, because of course, you know, like I was dealing with depression, I was dealing with, you know, like life, and I couldn't help anybody, because I couldn't even help myself. So how can you help others to laugh when you don't find anything, you know, funny?
Funny, right? Yeah.
So Finland was closed for a couple of years. I tried to reopen Finland in 2020, because I thought that this is the time where we need,
Like COVID.
yeah, when
people
we
are
need
closing.
some laugh. But then, you know, like I just wasn't there. I was still recovering from my depression. I don't think you fully recover, and that's something that, you know, like you live with that.
Yeah.
You just need to kind of like learn to live with it, and try not to let it like kind of like,
Arise.
no, not arise, but like
Take
kind of
over.
like take over from you. It's kind of like, you know, you're part of me. I have that darkness within me, but I'm not gonna let you the power that I was giving you like before.
Yeah.
And then you are a bit wiser, you know, to recognize, you know, like if I continue this path, then it's not gonna go to any bueno. So then it's
Yeah.
like, let's stop this and do other stuff.
Finland is good at that, like giving you enough time, even during the year. It has a season of like introspection and so on.
Well, definitely, because you are on your own,
Yeah.
and then there is silence, and then there is nature,
And then there's
so
darkness.
and then there is darkness. So it's a lot of time for you to think, for you to get to know yourself. So I think that in that sense, Finland, of course, has helped me, you know, to find out
Find
who
you
is
and your parts.
who is Lola and who is Miss Finland, or whatever you want to call me. I don't think I would be this awesome individual that I feel that I am if I wouldn't have lived here. So I think that if I would have stayed in Mexico, I wouldn't have questioned enough. I wouldn't have, you know, like have my own ideas, my own mindset form. So in a way, you know, like Finland impacted me in my personality. Yes, like I'm a bit more awkward
Than before.
than before. But it also, you know, like it also helped me to find me. Like it really helped me to find who I am, and what I like and what I don't like, what I'm, you know, like what I'm going to accept in my life, what I'm not going to accept in my life. And I think that's kind of like something that it wouldn't have ever happened if I wouldn't have come here,
Yeah.
or
You
stayed
wouldn't have
too long.
time to find yourself because we're busy.
Exactly. Yeah. But yes, let's talk about something more happier
Happier.
than depression.
No, I mean, I like my space, like the podcast, the channel, everything, to be No taboos. No, this is definitely a safe space. And I like seeing the character that gets built behind being a mediatic person, being behind a country that has like a lot of advertising, but then ones who really live here can get a better opinion or like a more wholesome opinion about what's really about. Like you've been here way longer, like almost double time as I have. So you have that like inner perspective of what has have happened, what is going on, and the page it's fascinating because you get in the comment section comments from people, but that are coming out in a little bit of anonymity. Like you wouldn't find them in the street; they wouldn't tell you the same things in your face.
No, definitely not. I think, like I have said many times that the best part of Finland is not the person behind Finland or the memes in itself, but more like, like the comments.
The people.
The people,
Who
like
leave
the
the
community.
comments. Yeah.
Like it's just, like
Those are
they-
funnier sometimes.
they make me laugh so much with the comments that is like sometimes, like I post something because I want to laugh. So like, does it make sense? Like I post something because I want to see the comments that they are going to.
That they're
So
gonna come out.
so
from
in a
this.
way, I'm kind of using the community for me, to laugh. But it's true. It's like I think we use each other.
I mean, we also use you to laugh. so
Exactly,
everybody
but it's
laughs.
like
It's
everybody
only a
wins, like everybody
virtuous circle.
everybody wins. But yes, I get a lot of like content from the comments. And of course, I mean, the sharing content is always like you never know, like if I should share it freely, or if I can, if I have to put the name of the person, or maybe the person doesn't want to, like
To, like,
have
be
the
too
name
open.
there or be too open. So I try to be as respectful as possible. But because in my head it's always like if it makes me laugh, it goes to the page. Then sometimes I post something from the comments, and it's just like it's just hilarious, and then people are like laughing more because of somebody like commenting or posting something. But I mean, a couple of examples, like for example, I really love there is this guy called Marcin that
Shout out.
if I put something, then he make it even funnier, like kind of like explaining the page or the picture, or adding something to the picture, like, and then people are
Of
kind
value.
of, yeah,
like
exactly, like
background.
adding value to the joke. And I don't get mad because like he's doing that. Like by the contrary, like
It's a
I
he or
find
she?
that
He probably.
I think it's a he. But again, I don't, because
Yeah.
you never know. Like it could be a female name, but it's a there. So then I,
Are
like,
they them?
yeah. So I'm so confused always with
With
that. So it's better not to go in that kind of like direction. Then a lot of people like commenting, but then there is also like people like, for example, Lola, that she always adds value explaining like the history behind like something, like why these were from which time, or like, which I really enjoy. I mean, might not be funny, but I really enjoy to learn about something that I had no clue, and if they wouldn't share, then I wouldn't know. Like sometimes, like for example, like let's say that I share a picture of I don't know, pannukaku, right? And then somebody is like, "Oh, I always make that, but as a pizza, and I call it panza," and I made up the name. And then I'm like, okay, send me the recipe, because like I want to learn how to do this panza. And then like like he sends me the recipe, and I might not remember the all the names because it's
So it's
hard
pizza
to.
with panukaku.
Yeah, exactly, panza. So I find it like adorable, and then like he just put the recipe there, like how to do it. And so these are the kind of things that I love about the community, that they share life experiences, they share some anecdotes about like their
Yeah.
country that we wouldn't know because we
Otherwise.
didn't grow up in here as kids. So then you don't know, those jokes from childhood that they know. So it's like I think they give a lot of value, and also sometimes the comments are used for posts. Like for example, there was this guy saying one time, describe with emojis your country. And then he just posted, like it was like a pine tree, like many pine trees. Then there was this face
Squirrel.
emoji, no, face emoji without any laugh, kind
I
of
like
like
flat
the
face.
flat face, and then more pine trees. And I just found it hilarious because, of course, I mean, by looking at that, then you know that he's talking about Finland.
Yeah.
Like it's clearly a happy Finn in the middle of the woods. So, so that's like those are things that I find funny. The creativity of other people. So it's not just me behind, I would say.
Come in for the jokes and stay for the comments.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So what is most your audience is mostly Finns, or what are they? Tell me about the demographics. Is it
Yes,
international?
I actually have here, like, if you give me one sec. Well, most of the people following the page are women, so that's actually quite interesting. Uh, is basically women. I think it's 61% is women, and the rest is guys.
He, him, they, them.
Yeah, or them, they, or
Them, they.
I don't know, non-binary. I have no clue. But according to statistics, is 61% women, 38 men, and of course there is no. Facebook should update his statistics to the non-binary also, like to consider. But
Yeah, not yet.
and then the biggest is age are from 25 to 34. It's like 40% are between that age.
Like
20
millennials.
Yeah, like 23% is
25 to
35
34.
to 44. And then like for 45 to 54 is the 15. So it's pretty much, like similar age as me. So I think
So
that's the
people
demographic.
of the Facebook audience, which is like our age upwards.
Yeah, they follow Finland.
Yeah.
So not the youngsters.
Yeah,
The
for sure.
youngsters are not,
Yeah, they're on
like
TikTok doing
they're
a
on
sweater
TikTok
and-
like dancing, but like the old school is following Finland, and then the majority of the followers are from Finland. So you can see here, like the top countries is Finland with 41%. Then is the United
some people in
States.
America.
In the United States, which is a lot of Finnish communities living there as well. And then in the UK with 3.6, Germany 2.6, and then Italy 2.6. So even though I'm from Mexico, I don't have that many Mexicans following me because
or
they don't
Spanish
find
speakers for that matter.
because they don't find funny my content. It's just like
Yeah, those who can relate.
it's
So
only
it's
those who
very
can
niche.
relate, exactly.
But
So
is it what's the number of the followers right now? Like 140?
137,000, I think. So, but that's and then in Finland, the biggest city is Helsinki with 10%. Then is Espoo, Tampere, Vantaa, Turku. So those are the most demographic about the page.
Recently, there
Yeah.
was a small little gossip. Not gossip.
No,
there was a
not
scandal.
gossip.
There was a scandal about content that you shared that other people were claiming as
yeah.
theirs.
Like you mean the post about today that I was like comparing, like that don't copy my homework. Like, hey, can I copy your homework? And then I said like, yeah, of course, just change it a bit, and then they
So
don't.
it doesn't look like mine.
So it doesn't look like mine, and then they just just copy and added one word. Yeah, about that. It's not really a gossip. I mean, there is some story behind that. I try not to talk too much about it, but that's also like one of the reasons why I don't like to give interviews, and I don't like to.
Because of the very first interview that happened.
No, it's more, like kind of like back then, I think it was 2016, when there is this person that contacted me on social media, and then it was like, oh, it would be good to make an interview. It would be good to meet you and talk about you in my blog and blah, blah, blah. And then suddenly the interview is lost. And
Because you gave out everything about the
pretty
page.
much, I think I said that I'm not doing this for money. I do it as a hobby. I do it like for the laugh and blah blah blah. And then I think my guess is that back then it was like, well, if she's not doing it for the money, then I
Then
can
I
do
will
it
do it
for
money.
the money. And so the interview got lost in the mail or email or translation or I don't know where. And then the page started after that, and then I'm always saying that, well, I want to believe that I inspire others to
Because the
to
others is
make
a
to
big
make
page.
contact,
It's a
like,
page out there that has a lot of followers
yeah. But then, like, at the
and a
beginning,
similar.
I was a bit upset because of all this. But of course, I was also dealing with, like, I was about to get the press, so I was kind of like in a really bad moment in my
Personal
life.
already.
Of course, it's not nice, like that. Like later on, when they became bigger than Finland, then people were thinking that Finland was the one copy the other pages that
Yeah.
got bigger because they were putting money, and then suddenly they are getting bigger, and then now Finland is the one that is copying others. But that was not the case. The reality is that Finland was first. Finland didn't have money to spend on
On
publicity,
advertising or whatever.
and all the growth that I have had has been organic. So I haven't paid for anything, which make me really proud. I don't make profits out of the page. I have tried, but honestly, I don't know how, and then it's too complicated, and then I'm like, no, let's just,
Just keep it fun.
let's just keep it
organically.
fun, because then it's gonna feel like a job, and it's gonna feel like I have to, and then it's just too much pressure, and I don't want to have the pressure. So I think I have earned maybe 21 euros by selling,
From the
these
merch.
these Mr. Perkele shirts.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't do it for the money. It was more like, people were like wanting to have something. And I opened this store just for those people that they would like to have, something. But I make like €1 of every shirt that is sold. I think it's only Diana buying, because she's always sending me, like messages that, hey, I bought these. And then I'm like, you're probably the only one buying
The shirts.
the shirt. But I think, like, I have never done this for the revenue. So I think, like, that was annoying at some point. The people thinking that I was the one, copying
Yeah, because
others.
if the other account is the bigger one, then the smaller account, or seemingly smaller,
Yeah.
is the one that's copying.
And then, of course, I mean, everybody does, like everybody
Yeah.
gets ideas from social media. But you have to also like try to be as respectful as possible,
Have
like,
finesse.
yeah, in a way that if you're going to copy, like, don't copy the text, just, like whatever she wrote and put it in your picture, like, that's just not,
Not cool.
it's not cool. Or then if you know that that's new content, like, don't create the same with new graphics and then put your logo, like if it was your original idea. Because I think for me, at some point it felt like I was working for them for free. They were getting the money, I wasn't getting, anything. And then it just didn't feel right. And he could just go, like, to, or she could just go, to, or them,
Or they them.
or them, they could just go, to all the pictures from the last 4 years,
From your
and
page,
from my
and then
page,
just make
and then
from
just
there.
make new content. So then at some point I was like, I don't want this. I'm gonna close the page, and that's why it was hidden for like 2 years to avoid, the stealing more content.
Ideas, humor.
But now, for example, now that I'm better, that I'm not like struggling as much as I was with depression and burnout and all of these things that I had to deal with back in 2018, 2019. Like now I see it in a less. I don't get as annoyed as I used to, or I don't get as mad as I used to be. It's more like, well, like I want to believe that I was inspiration for them, that thanks to that, a lot of people have laughed in a moment that maybe they needed that laugh, like maybe they are struggling with depression, maybe, like they need some joy in their life. And if I was not able, to do it in those years, then there was someone else, like, okay, profiting, but still, sharing smiles and sharing some joy to the world. So I want to see it more like that now than being upset.
Because it was literally you post something, and then that same text
Yeah.
a day after or whatever after,
Yeah.
it would appear in the other page
And for example, before,
and get
like,
like 10 times the likes.
like
or whatever.
back in 2016, I would be really upset. Like I would be really mad. Like I would take it, like in a really, really mad way. But in 2024, I'm like, come on, dude, because he just posted now like 4 days ago, the same
That
picture
same
that he did, like in
6, 7, 8 years
2016.
ago.
So it's like you can steal other content, like
Yeah, you
there
don't
is
have to
like
get back to this
you don't
one.
have to share the same and the same and the same all the time because people get tired. Like that's why we don't post the Black Friday in November from like November to March. Like in Finland we have Black Friday from November to March.
Yeah, just
Like
every day.
because it's an
It's an
old
old
joke,
joke.
and people don't like that. So we just need to find like new content or like be more creative or just do like whatever and be
Yeah, give it a
you.
spin. Yeah.
And for example, that's something that I must say that I feel more comfortable now with the page, because when I reopened Finland, I was in Mexico. So I was living in Mexico. I moved to Mexico in 2022, and I was working there. No, wrong. I opened Finland 2023. I reopened it in 2023 October, because I think that I lost my job, and then I was going to kind of like I have a lot of time, so then I was like, okay, maybe this is the time to see if people remember me. Like I was curious if
If
people,
they're still around.
yeah, if people are still around, and the response was really, really good. I was actually really, really happy about people response. They were like, Perkele, where have you been? Don't scare us like that. Welcome, like we have missed you. Like there were a lot of, like sincere comments from people, because the post was like, I think it was 6 October 2023. And then I just posted like Perkele. Piste. And people were like, oh my God, where have you
You're
been?
alive.
You're alive. I think that a lot of people thought that I was probably dead already. So the response was really good, and that's the reason why I decided to keep the page. Then they were asking me like, then I had no clue what to post anymore. Like social media has changed. Now it's videos, now it's reels, now it's dancing videos. Like it's just different as how it was back then. So I was asking the audience, like, what do you want to see from me? Like, should I need to learn how to dance? Like, I was kind of thinking, like, what kind of things you want to see from Finland? And then most of the response was like, just write whatever pops in your head.
Just be you.
Just be you. We are here because of you.
Your
That's
humor.
that's something that I'm still really like. Why? Like it's still, like
It's a little sabotage effect, no? Like this.
yeah, exactly. But I mean, like you have to remember that I have had this depression thing. So
Yeah.
then it's like I'm always kind of like wondering like why people like me, when like you have this in your head that you are not good enough, or you are not, like you're always kind of like wondering like why do people find me funny? I don't think I'm different from the rest, but then maybe I am, and then you just need to kind of like try to understand this, and now it's easier to keep the page because I'm just lately writing. So if something comes to my head, then I just post it, or then I take a picture that something that I find funny, and then I just post it. So then now I don't feel like an obligation that I have to post. It's more kind of like a you keep a
Like
journal.
a journal. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like you keep a journal, but online, and everybody can read it. So, but
That's the noble part about it. And
yeah,
that's what I like.
but I think that's pretty much how it is. Sometimes I'm kind of wondering that like I have to like, because sometimes I'm thinking that like if I was an outsider reading that, I would think this person is making up a lot of stuff. But I'm not. Like I'm.
Yeah,
like,
I wouldn't say
like
that.
seriously, like sometimes like
I wouldn't agree.
everything that goes is something that has happened,
Yeah.
or something that like I have had to deal with. Maybe like maybe it's not right away, because it could have been that happened like one day before. Sorry, that happened like one day before, and then I'm posting it like the day after. So it might be that the story is not right away, but it did happen. Like it did happen like yesterday or 2 days ago, and because I didn't want to share too much content on on one
On
day,
one go.
then I just wait, for the next day or the day after. But it's usually something that has happened to me. So it is kind of like a journal now.
So from getting the comments that you get, some people you recognize, some people don't. What can you say is the Finnish persona of, like, how would you describe the Finns who are commenting kind of anonymously? How is the Finn? How would you describe a Finn?
A Finnish person
Yeah, a Finnish
commenting.
person.
I think basically is someone that is an individual without saying all of this, she, he, them. That is really proud of Finland and wants to share a bit of their country with the rest. And
In a sarcastic way, a little bit.
No, like sometimes sarcastic, sometimes genuinely sharing, like their experiences, what they believe, like they really want to share. I think I like more the personality online because it's more genuine of their personality. I think that like when you meet someone in person, or when you meet a Finnish person in person, then it's more kind of like like there are all these unwritten rules that
Like
you have
protocol.
to follow.
Or written.
Yeah, but it's like like don't get too close, like don't make eye contact, like
don't overexpress.
Don't overexpress, like like be more serious, like do not share unless somebody's asking you, like all of these things that makes the interaction a bit more
limited. Spacious.
Yeah, exactly. I think it really make it limited, and it's like what we were saying, that like the Finnish online personality is hugging you with a comment, but in person or in real life meeting, you wouldn't get a hug from a Finnish person if you're meeting it for the first time. So that's kind of like the what I can see. That is like, I think that they are more genuine when they write online than when you
Than the
actually
public
meet them
one.
for the first time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way of kind of taking the mask of people and letting them be themselves, their real self, their real humor. And I have kind of seen that still it shines their ironic, dark humor. And I think that's also a little bit your humor, like what you share is a little bit like dark and pokey to things in the life. And
Yeah,
everything.
exactly.
So we're gonna see some images that you have posted. What are some of the photos that stand out to you?
Some pictures are more they are shared more than others. But it's like, if I can
What are some
remember,
legendary ones?
legendary ones, well, those are probably like from, like, this is one legendary one that I reshare now, like couple of months ago, because of course it's like I made this picture, like when comparing, yeah, like comparing, the eggs in your country and the eggs in mine,
Easter eggs.
and then this was like the first time that I share it, like it was probably 2015, and it just went, like crazy, like it got a lot of comments. So I would say that, of course, I reshare it now in March because it's one of the classics, and it always gets like full of likes and follow comments and so on. But it's also like this. There were a lot of like similarities or pics that were similar to this, like countries, like candies in your country, like full of colors, and then candies in mine, and then only salmiakki
Only
candies.
salmiakki black.
And that was also like one of the things that I posted like for the first time on the internet. So if you have seen those, I was the one sharing these these similarities or comparing these. Then there was also the one of the things that was quite popular back in 2014-15 was the personal space, like always talking about personal space. And then it was like a personal space in your doesn't apply in sauna. And then you have the picture of waiting for the bus, where you have like people like really taking their distance.
The space.
And then like in sauna, when there are no people, like like
There's no space between
there is no
them.
space between them.
Everyone is
Exactly.
skin to skin, being one next to another.
Exactly, but I mean, there are like many, like this was also like a popular one, you know.
Like almost thousands, I would say, of
Yeah,
images that
this
you have
this
shared.
got like 46K, and it was, you know, like this is not even mine. I don't even know who posted this picture. I just reshare it because I thought it was funny. And it's, of course, I mean, did you know that 70% of the Finnish park rangers' job is rescuing metal bands that get lost shooting album covers? And you know, like it is true. It's just funny because, you know, like you do see people like you do see these bands taking these kind of pictures. What is funny is that one guy wrote like, "Oh, that's me." Yeah.
What?
So one of the followers is actually one of these guys in the picture. So I thought it was really funny that that's me and we didn't get lost. And that was like
This is
hilarious.
obviously a joke. No one is looking for them.
Yes, exactly. So I think that was like really funny. That there was there was a guy like, oh, that's me.
That's me in the photo.
Yeah, that's me in the photo. Where can I like this?
Like the longer a person is in the country, of course, the more insight they can have
Yeah.
of the core of the culture. And to other people who we are like relatively newer, most of anything is a surprise to us. And like there are some jokes that get old, but by the time the newers, we just see them. I think this one is also original, yours, I can't remember. As
don't
new
know.
people see them, like maybe a new joke to them, but to us or to you, it could be like, oh, I see that every Easter. I see that every.
Yeah, exactly. Like for example, this got also like got a lot of follower like likes, and this was like the day after I reopened Finland. And if you see this kind of picture, like comparing Paris, Tokyo, London, Venice, Barcelona, like I didn't do this picture. Somebody shared it to me. I thought it was funny. And of course, I mean, this is just me saying that looks a bit like Sweden to me. And this is just, you know, like the controversy that we were talking about, that I like to post this kind of comments, kind of like when, oh no, but it's definitely not Sweden. Sweden is better. And then you have the Finns saying that, oh no, Finland is better than Sweden. So, I mean, these are the kind of comments that bring more the of posts that brings more kind of like
Polarity.
exposure, I would say.
I
But I
remember
mean, there is
once.
like there is so many content in here, like that it's just so many pictures. I don't know how many there are, but I assume there are over 6K pictures, more or less,
Images.
in Finland with because of all the years, basically.
I remember once I saw another page, that other page. I saw that other page with an image that I knew it was yours from years back, and I commented there like, "Oh, I remember seeing this first in Funland page," and then people like liked it, and some people like commented. I think the account never officially made any statement or anything.
It's fine. And that's the thing is like, as I said, is like I don't get mad anymore. I think that, you know, like
And your
people.
community defends you.
No, and I think, you know, like people who have followed Finland, like the followers of Finland, or like those 137K, I think they are just from
Way back
always.
then,
Yeah,
old
exactly.
timers.
It's like there is like really little about the new ones. And if I, of course, I mean, I always saying like welcome to Finland and this kind of stuff, like this, what the fuck is like the welcome to Finland. But you know, like I think that most of the people following the page or the people commenting, they have been following since 2014, 2015, 2016. So it has been already many years following that it really feels like a community. Like I know their names, like maybe not by memory, but like if I see it, then it's like, oh, I know that she has been following for many years. So let me read this. And then if it is a new person that it just, you know, doesn't get me, then I'm like, this person shouldn't be here. And then I'm just thinking that I cannot kick them out, but I want them to kick them out.
Yeah, well,
But they haven't done anything wrong. So I'm kind
Yeah.
of waiting, you know, like for being disrespectful. So I have an excuse to like kick them out. Because of course, I mean, there is
I
like,
want them to be disrespectful so I can kick them
yeah,
out.
so I can kick them out. Yeah, because that's the thing that is like there is people that they just don't have any humor.
Like there's just people who just hate.
No, like have you had cases in your social media that, you know, like they write something because they want to write something, but they don't have like, it's not funny at all. Like it's not really like, it's just a really long comment, but it's not funny. It doesn't bring any, like
Anything to the table, any value.
any value to the rest. But this person clearly wants to, like
Express themselves.
express themselves. So I let them, but I find it really difficult to say
To empathize. Like I'm not gonna like it because it's not funny, but you're expressing yourself.
exactly. So it's like that's the thing that is like I have recognized, some of the followers that they just want to, express themselves. So I let them, but sometimes they are not funny, and I'm like, this is
This shouldn't be here.
this person shouldn't be following this. Also, like I have to be really careful with all these scammers. There is a lot of people trying to talk to women. So they are sending, the same message to all the women, like, hey, can we talk? Or like, like pretending that they want to learn
Finnish
language or something.
What?
But then you have to like, it's quite easy for me because then I see,
You see
the
the
same
secretary
person,
face.
the same person like commenting on all the posts, and then I just block them. Like if they are really disturbing people, then I just, like block them. But yeah, I think that the most common things in Finland were like the personal space. There were many jokes about this personal space. Like this is kind of like the style, like Black Friday. But then if someone shares like free buckets, like like when you are comparing things.
I never understood why Finland likes buckets or free buckets particularly so much. They go crazy.
I don't know either. Till this day, it's just not something that I understand. But if they want a pocket, then let them have their pocket. I don't think that's like a lot of these pictures are not mine. Some are just shared by, like the
The
followers,
community
the
themselves,
community, and then I just, repost it. Some people tell me like, please put my name. Some people are
Oh
like,
yeah, I've seen this one in other pages with the icon of the other page. Like sometimes, like even I reshared this one
yeah,
with my spin. Like I put a different month or
yeah,
whatever.
exactly. But I mean, I think all of us did that in a way.
Yeah.
Like I have created also my version. So it's like, of course, I mean, there is no I don't think, like we have exclusivity of all of these because a lot of these are memes.
Yeah. And once they're out there,
But
it's
for
almost public domain.
yeah, but for example, this is mine. Like I remember because I did it. Like I told you Alco was close. And and it's just, like sometimes I find an idea and then I made it. Sometimes I don't have any idea, so I don't made it. But this is like the picture that I made it my
And that
style.
you edited.
So but it's the same, like with the same kind of idea. So I think that a lot of us have done it in a way. But of course, I mean, if you are really, like creating something and putting text, like because that's the funny part. Like sometimes what the admin writes is gives more value than the actual picture.
Yeah.
Like sometimes people like, like you're waiting like to see what this guy is going to say
comment or
about.
say.
Exactly. But yeah, there is lots of content. So
Feel
if
free to
you
give it a look.
yeah, if you ever feel like kind of like
With time to read something.
time to read something and time to laugh, or you're just, like about to get depressed, then go to all of these, like pictures from the last 11 years, and there is so many laughs in here. So that's why I think that I shouldn't, delete it. So but like this is somebody sent me this, and I don't know if this is true. But
Like
if
Beatrice
it
Street or
if
something
it
go
is
that way.
if it exists, then I would like to go there. Like
Like somebody in the comments found it.
yeah,
They put where
exactly,
the location is.
exactly. So it's like this is like really valuable, I would say. So and I cannot visit the whole Finland. So of course, I mean, I'm always appreciating when people send me these kind of images.
Yeah, like facts and things.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, lots of. I think now we are in what 2016.
So what's a little bit of the future for Finland? It will continue to be the way it is until indefinite times.
I don't know because I don't even know what's gonna be my future. So I don't know. I'm kind of living, like one day at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So for now, I can keep it open. Let's see, where it goes, or like
Like someone in the community wouldn't take over, or you wouldn't like, somebody keep doing this
no,
because I'm
I mean,
tired.
at some point, I thought that maybe, I'll get another admin and make the differentiation between
Who
the
posts what
who
and so.
posts or who doesn't. But I don't know, it just doesn't feel right, like it's just something that, as I said, is like it's my journal in a way.
Yeah,
So you wouldn't let anyone else write
in your journal.
in your journal. So that's the thing, that it's like I'm not entirely sure. A lot of people has been asking if I want to sell it, because they can make money out
Any
of
offers
this. Uh,
worth mentioning?
no, I mean, of course, I mean, they said that I can give you like 200 euros per month for putting ads, and then,
Really?
but that's the thing, that is like, then the people is gonna recognize,
The advertising
the
and the
advertising and the
organic.
organic, exactly. And I mean, it's like it's really difficult to hide, because then it's like, hi, I'm drinking pretty peach, and so like you cannot make it casual, like I think people is not stupid, and they know, like when somebody is like posting because they're getting like some money. I'm always doing, these free posts of that I
Or
should
like,
be
oh,
charging.
lonchero, or
Yeah,
blah
I
blah
should be
blah.
charging, but I don't. But I think people know that I'm not charging, because otherwise I wouldn't do it like that. It's spontaneous. So
I don't even remember when the buses used to look like this, like with a happy smile.
yeah, those were like from before.
Anything that you want to add, that you want to say to people?
If I would say something, it would be to the followers. I would probably say like thank you. Like, where's the camera there? Like, thank you for all the years following me, and thank you for making me feel special, even though like a part of me doesn't really feel that special. But thanks to you following the page, like in a way it does. So I would just say thank you, and Perke, leave, please. Like, don't stay too long in the page. So
Go
that I
out
don't
and live
feel,
as
yeah,
well,
leave as well, and have a life also. Like, just don't be all the time, like following, because
or online.
yeah, exactly.
Screen
Because I think,
time.
like the screen time is good to have, but not all the time.
Mhm.
Like, I try not to be, like all the time in the page. There was maybe years that I had more time to, like
To be stuck
to
there.
be there, but I don't do that all the time now. So if you want to make sure that I read your comment, then probably, be quick when I post something, and then
Because she's still on the
comment,
phone.
because I do have
Otherwise,
the phone. Or then you have to send a message like separately, so then I can actually, like
thank
see it.
see it.
Because when, like when there are like 2,000 comments, it's just difficult
Yeah,
to follow when
to
there's so
keep up and
much.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, but yeah, I think that's what I would say. Like, big thank you. And if you see me on the street, don't say hello.
Don't say anything.
Don't say
Just
hello.
ignore me and then comment
Yes,
later.
just ignore me, and that's it.
Thank you, Lola. Thank you for coming,
No,
for
thank
sharing
you,
some
Cesar,
words.
for inviting me, and hopefully, like some people will see it. So this is not in vain. Yeah.
Thank you. See you
Okay.
next time.
Thank you. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye.